Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Are you looking for the easiest off-grid kit ever? Well, I may have it for you today. This kit is from VTERUN. It includes a 220 watt portable folding solar panel, a self-feeding 12.8 volt 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery with a built-in charge controller inside the battery, a 2000 watt inverter with remote cabling, everything you need to get started, and it even has Bluetooth functionality so you can monitor the progress of charging and discharging your battery. This is pretty cool. I'm going to show you all about it today. Let's get right into it. I'm going to clear some of this stuff out of the way. I'm going to give you a brief overview of everything, and then I'm going to put it through some paces. So we'll take a look at this battery first. This is a Group 31 size format battery. And if you've looked at some of my other videos on Group 31 batteries, you know in the 100 amp hour class, there is so much room inside these cases. So what VTERUN did is they moved the cells as far over to one side of the case as they could, and then put a 20 amp MPPT charge controller on this side of the battery because all the weight is here and it's super light on this side where all the ports and things are. And the controller that's built in accepts up to 45 volts input from your solar. That's pretty neat to see. And this also being a self-heating battery is nice. That way you can use it in multiple climates and locations. So even in the wintertime, this battery is going to heat up before it allows the cells to charge, which is good. And if I spin the battery around to the user interface side, is what I'm calling this side of the battery, where we have a power switch right here. This just activates the discharge FETs on the BMS. So you can charge this battery without turning this switch on using the included 2-pin to MC4 adapter, which goes right here in this port. So you put it on like that, get it lined up. It's got little teeth in there that line it up and then thread it down. And then you're ready to connect your solar panels to this battery. So that's pretty easy to use right there. It's watertight. Got a good seal on the adapter right there, so I like seeing that. We have a USB and USB-C port right here so you can charge all your devices or whatever small loads you need to power with this battery. And then we have a standard 12 volt port on this side right here for all your DC needs. I'm going to put the Bluetooth right here for you so you can see the discharge MOSFET is off on this battery. If I push the power switch right there, we get a little indicator here. Then the discharge MOSFET is activated, so now the battery can discharge. And if you're not planning on using this battery, you can always turn off the little user interface switch right there. That will save you a minuscule amount of energy. That wouldn't really affect you on a day-to-day operation for using a battery, but if you let it sit for a long time, please turn the little switch off. So I'm trying to show you everything. This kit is buildable as a 3-piece kit, 2-piece kit, whatever you want through VTERUN. But with the battery itself, you get the MC4 to 2-pin adapter so you can hook your solar panels that meet their charger specs, which of course they recommend using their panels on this battery. And the battery also comes with a set of terminal bolts and some protective covers to keep everything safe on your battery. Then the panel itself, I'll show you more of this unfolded once I go outdoors to show you the panel charging this battery right here. 36 volt total rate at 220 watts. And it's got kickstands right there so you can sit up at different angles and things. It's got a magnetic closure on the top right there. You can hear it clicking. And we have Velcro on the bottom right there to close it when you're in transport, different things like that. So Velcro here, magnets here, pretty nice. And then under the terminal cover, right here where the actual MC4 leads are, we have more charging options. We have more USB ports right here. We've got a USB standard port right here, then a USB-C port, and we have 12 feet of PV cable to connect over to your battery with the included adapter. Pretty cool little kit. And the included cable on this panel is super flexible and easy to put back into the storage bag area is what they're calling it on this panel. So pretty easy to get everything stowed back away when you're done. And the specifications are not printed on the solar panel, so for your reference, here are the specifications listed in the manual on the VTERUN 220 watt portable folding panel. So I've got the VTERUN battery with its included MC4 connector going to the VTERUN 220 watt folding panels. Waiting for the sun to come out from behind the cloud to get you some readings. I've got an iPad set up and we're going to use the Bluetooth feature on this battery to track its power on these folding panels. And current sky conditions at time of test, as usual, cloudy with lots of water vapor, and it is 95-degree ambient with about 80% humidity. Still waiting for a cloud to clear, but looks like it's going to turn into a thunderstorm. So 40 watts under cloudy skies out of those panels, which is not bad. But you can see where I had it set up for the last little bit. You can see I got a peak of 185.6 watts. Past solar noon now by quite a bit, so I'm not expecting full power output out of the VTERUN panels. Thunderstorms in the area, so I'm trying to work in between storms. The best sky I've got. So when that cloud clears out right there, we're going to take us a reading. So I've got the VTERUN panels in a different orientation than the other shot I took for this video. Just trying to get the best solar collection since I'm past solar noon. Panels, I got them on the kickstands now, so I'm trying to get the best angle I can. All right, so I'm getting 164, 160 in between. So got a recording right there of 166.9, 172, so 177. So she's climbing out. The clouds are moving out from in front of the sun. So see what it can do. 162, 164 now. Did record a high of 182.8 watts. And that, remember, that is delivered to the battery. This is the battery reading this, not the actual charge controller or anything like that. This is straight off the BMS's data. More clouds starting to come back in. Got another thunderstorm be here in just a few minutes. So I was doing 165 with subpar conditions late in the day. And what time is it? So 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So the sun's already cutting through a lot more atmosphere than midday at solar noon. So get us one more good reading right here. I'm gonna pack it in before this storm comes in. So hanging around 160 with a lot of clouds in the sky, a lot of vapor. So I'm completely happy with the performance of the panels under these sky conditions. So yeah, 160 with these sky conditions, not too bad. And it's 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm gonna take a look at this inverter now. This is a 2000 watt pure sine wave inverter, 12 volt to 110 to 120 volts AC. So the case of the inverter itself, it's aluminum shell. It is a clamshell style. It's got a nice carry handle on the top right there. And if we look on the rear of the inverter, opposite of the power output side, here's our DC input from our 12 volt battery. You see it's got protective caps for the terminals right there. We have dual cooling fans. And if I turn the inverter around to the front where the actual AC output is, well, you can see all the way through the case. So it looks like there'll be plenty of airflow in this inverter. We have a LCD display here, a on-off button right there, and then some more USB charging features. So if anything with this system is blatantly apparent, plenty of USB charging opportunities throughout this system. The inverter also has a remote control function, which is pretty cool to see right there, off and on. So we'll check that out too in just a minute. And we have power leads, so we can run the inverter with the battery. It comes with 4-gauge power leads right there, 105-degree jacketed cables. And then total length on the included cables for the inverter. I'm going to go from the center of the terminal right there, center to center, because that'll be our true length. So center to center. We'll do the negative cable here, 20 3/4 inches center to center. And the inverter does have fairly thick brass pass-throughs going into the case of the inverter. So let me hook up the leads here and we'll check it out. So I have the inverter connected to the VTERUN battery right there. There's no overcurrent protection included with this kit, and if you're going to run this battery, I would highly recommend either using some kind of circuit breaker or marine rated battery fuse or something like that, some kind of terminal fuse on this. I'm just relying solely on the BMS. This is a bench test. Don't leave your inverter unattended running in this way right here. Please use proper protection, and 4-gauge cable is really not quite sufficient for a 2000 watt inverter. But I should not exceed the 4-gauge cabling today because the battery has a 100 amp BMS with a 150 max. So I'm going to try to pop the BMS on this battery today. That's part of the test, kind of giving you away what I'm fixing to do. But the battery is fully charged, but they're 100% state of charge. And the inverter or anything is not on because I've got the switch turned off on the battery. Really wanted to see is turning this battery on, if it's going to create a overcurrent condition or something like that, trying to fill up the capacitors in here, because a lot of batteries, BMSs, will trip if you connect to an inverter. It'll spark and pop. So we'll see if there are pre-charged resistors in this BMS. So I'm going to hit the switch now. See what happens. Do we have? Oh, it shut it down. It sure did. So be aware of that. You're going to drop out your Bluetooth when you turn the battery on like that. Let's see if the inverter powers up, and I'll test that again. That was interesting to see. I was kind of thinking it was going to do that. Okay, so the inverter does come on, showing 13.6 volts, and we have no Bluetooth back yet. Let me turn this back off for a second. Right there, turn this off, and let's see if I can get my Bluetooth back to the battery. Okay, I had to close out the Zhaozhang Electric app right there to get the state of charge back. It's showing lower because it's going off of this voltage right here. It didn't track the power coming in or nothing like that. So showing 13.35 volts, 93% state of charge. So let's try that again and see if I can replicate that again. See if you can see that as well. All right, here we go again. Battery's off. Seeing the Bluetooth over here, I'm going to hit the power button right there. See, it went away right there. So the inrush current that these capacitors in this is demanding is momentarily glitching out the BMS and losing our Bluetooth. So the battery appears to be online right there. So just letting you know everything I'm seeing while I'm testing this stuff out. So I'm going to see if that comes back on, but in the meantime, let me get this where you can see it, and let's see if the remote works on the inverter. Okay, the battery's on. You see the little indicator light right there. Okay, nothing is happening there. So that's not working. Let's try pushing. Okay, that came on like that, so maybe I have to turn the inverter on first. Okay, the inverter is on. 13.6 volts is what it's showing, even though our Bluetooth's down right now. So let me see if the remote works now. Nope, the remote is not controlling the inverter. You see the red light indicating on the remote that we have battery power on the remote. It's not doing anything. So trying long press, short press, trying off, on buttons. So that's not working. So just so you know, let's see, it turns off here. Okay, it turns off there. Let me try the remote one more time. Let me shorten the antenna. Nothing. Anyhow, let's get on to testing this inverter. Turn it back on right there. See what it's doing. I propped it up right here so you can see the display better. The display's a little bit dim, but it's fully serviceable and fully usable. 28 degrees Celsius, 120 volt, showing the battery is full right there. I'll try to get you the best view you can right here of this. So it kind of flashes around between the AC and the DC voltage. Well, that's pretty nice right there. So let's put a load to it and see what it does. No, not showing any current or power draw from the app right there. Most of these apps usually only pick up about ½ an amp of current. So the idle consumption on this inverter is probably pretty low. A 48 volt, 51.2 volt, 16S charger. So let it load up and see what we got. See the wattage right here on the display rising right there. So showing the battery voltage dropping, of course, because it started loading it down. So it should be around 900 and some odd watts load on the AC side. And the app is not doing anything. It is not showing any power consumption out of the battery right there. So there is that, which I've had trouble out of this app before. Let me switch to a different application. So the inverter, I've got my meter hooked up. The inverter is putting out 120.8 volts. That's pretty good. And it is, in fact, a pure sine wave inverter and pretty decent waveform on this inverter. Not bad at all. Alright, so we got a good clean wave on this inverter, good output voltage. So now let's load it down. So now I'm going to add an additional load to this inverter, another charger. So now I'm going to be charging a 12 volt battery, and I'm charging a 48 volt battery right here. So I'll add this charger in. That charger pulls about 700. I'm suspecting the BMS is going to trip long before this inverter ever goes into an overcurrent or overload situation. All right, it hit it quick. Discharge overcurrent right there. So the BMS is very sensitive in this battery. Discharge overcurrent protection. And what did it take to trip the BMS? 1447.4 watts. The BMS is reset The alarms are gone now. It is back up and operational. So I will take that charger off because I know we can't run that, and I'll turn the inverter back on. Let it pick back up and run it off of this, and I'll try to load it and at least get the battery to 100 amps, see if we can carry 100 amps on the battery. Alright, so now I have my power station, portable power station killer right here, my rocket vacuum cleaner, aka my battery cleaning device. So let's see what this inverter's got. Well, the inverter's got it, but the BMS does not. That was discharge overcurrent again. It's reset now. So vacuum is off. Let me turn the inverter back on. Which that vacuum is only about 400 watts at full load, but it just must be the inrush. So let me just try to crank up the vacuum first without the charger. So try that. Alright, that works. Alright, so the vacuum works, less than 400 watts, so put the charger back on. Alright, so 965 watts coming out of the battery right there. Putting out 870 on the AC side. So let me go see if we can get this vacuum to hit one more time. No, that BMS is super sensitive. Discharge overcurrent again on the battery trying to start the vacuum cleaner. Alright, it's reset and back on. Let me turn it back on one more time. Try that remote one more time. See if it'll shut it off. Nope. So I'm going to put on hair dry right here so I can stage the load up a little bit better to see what the battery, I'm going to try to dial in around 1200 watts plus or minus. I don't know if I can do that with this hair dryer here, but we're back online. The inverter's on, so let's work it up. Alright, that popped it to 15. We got to 1604, so yep. It kind of gives you an idea of what you can run off of the single battery, even though this inverter is capable of much more than what the battery is allowing it to do. I'll make a note too that the manuals that VTERUN supplies are very good. They're well above average in the term of affordable solar products. Everything is highly detailed, highly documented, and all these manuals shows you how to use everything properly. So I'm going to share my final thoughts on this VTERUN kit as a whole, not picking out one particular item, but just as a whole. If you went to buy this kit to set it up, ease of use, things like that. Yes, a pretty good little kit, a little starter kit. Huge inverter, very conservative battery, pretty good performance out of them panels in cloudy conditions. Just plug and play. You have everything you need right here to venture out into the wilderness or to set up something for your RV or camping trip, or even just get started on a DIY solar backup rig. But just know the limitations of a single battery, as I hopefully demonstrated, that you can probably run 1,000 to 1,200 watts off of this battery right here, but you could always buy another battery. Then you could get full performance out of this 2,000 watt inverter right here. I feel the performance of the solar panels is more than adequate considering the test conditions, the sky conditions. Getting good clear skies this time of year is hard to do, and always got elevated temps and things like that. So getting the performance out of those panels I did, I'm completely fine and completely happy with that. And too bad about the remote for the inverter. I wish the little remote would have worked. I mean, that's unnecessary, but that would have been a cool little feature. If you're sitting in your RV or whatever and you want to turn the inverter on or off, that would be cool. Too bad that doesn't work. I'll find out from the manufacturer if we got any kind of troubleshooting guide for that, if I need to look at the receiver in this inverter right here. So if you're interested in looking further into any of these individual components or the kit as a whole, I'll provide a convenient link in the video description down below so you can check availability and current pricing on all these items. So please let me know what you think about this VTERUN kit. And no, I did not tear the battery apart today. This was just a brief overview to show the operation and simplicity of this kit. While you're in the comment section, please let me know what you would like to see more of. The battery, the inverter, the panels, or a little bit more of the whole system. Let me know down below. I'll be glad to oblige. Hope you all enjoyed. Y'all take care. Be safe. I will see you on the next one. Special thanks to VTERUN for providing the samples for today's video so I could test and demonstrate the functionality of all your components. Thank you.